A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us this morning on the Humanizing Innovation webinar series organized by Multimedia University. My name is Siva Priya from the Faculty of Engineering, Multimedia University, and I will be the moderator for the forum today. The title of our Humanizing Innovation webinar series today is Engineering, Telecommunication Engineering, and the Future of the Industry. To share their thoughts and expertise, I'm honored to have with me two experts today. Our external speaker from the industry is professional technologist Shahrir Nizam Jalis, Chief Commercial Officer of Akashia Communication, Sendirian Berhad. Welcome, Tia Shahrir, and thank you for joining us on the show. And we have an academic expert, professional technologist, Associate Professor Dr. Mardini Rosli, Chairman of the Center of Wireless Technology from the Faculty of Engineering, Multimedia University. Welcome, Dr. Mardini, to the show. Both gentlemen, thank you very much for taking time off your extremely busy schedules and your willingness to share your thoughts and expertise with us on this series today. The objective of the Humanizing Innovation webinar series is to provide a platform for discussion between industry and academia to see how we can collaborate further for future research and development projects, as well as to introduce the research that is done both by the industry and the academia to the public, so that the public who are interested in collaboration or postgraduate studies may contact the industry expert or the academic expert to participate in further projects and collaborations. Now, I think my brief introduction will not do justice to the expertise that is brought to us by our two speakers today. So please allow me to share a detailed profile of our speakers today. T.S. Shahrir Nizam Jalis has a Masters of Science in Mobile Communication from the University of Surrey, United Kingdom, and a Bachelor Engineering Honours majoring in Electronics from Multimedia University, Malaysia. I am happy to say that T.S. Shahrir is one of our very successful alumni. He brings with him over 15 years of experience in the telecommunications industry. In his current role as the Chief Commercial Officer of Akashia Communication, Sendirian Berhad, he spearheads the sales team in achieving the sales target through multiple offerings such as cloud, connectivity, and ICTs. He is avidly strategizing and executing the new go-to-market plan for the company, focusing on the digital infrastructure. He also leads the business development team to venture into the enterprise and government, SME, and consumer markets. T.S. Shahrir is a certified data scientist and a Cisco certified network professional. In his free time, he enjoys sports, gardening, traveling, reading, computers, and meeting people. Welcome, T.S. Shahrir, once again to our show. Our second panelist is Professional Technologies Associate Professor Dr. Mardini Rosli, who is the immediate past chairman of the IEEE ComSoc BTS Malaysia and the incumbent vice chair of the Malaysian Radar and Navigations Interest Group under the Malaysian Society for Engineering and Technology. He is also the Chief Executive Officer and founder of Armada Smart Tech MR Sendirian Berhad. He is also the Deputy Director of the Research Management Center of Multimedia University. His current research interests are in 5G, 6G telecommunications, device-to-device telecommunications, satellite communications, Internet of Things, and radar communications. He has published over 140 papers for index journals, conference proceedings, professional magazines, and book chapters. He is actively involved in consultation for local and international companies. T.S. Dr. Mardini is winner of many prestigious awards, including the Top Research Scientist Malaysia and the VTS USA Outstanding Researcher Award in 2020, World Invention Special Award in 2019, Excellence in European Creativity Special Award in 2018, and University Excellent Researcher Award for 2016 and 2018 respectively. Under his exceptional leadership, the ComSoc BTS Malaysia chapter emerged as the recipient of the BTS Chapter of the Year Award in 2017 in Toronto, Canada. In his free time, he enjoys music, badminton, and hiking. Engineer Dr. Sivapriya Tyagaraja is the moderator for the event today. She obtained her B.Eng in Electronics Telecommunication from University Technology Malaysia and both PhD in Engineering and M.Eng Telecommunication from Multimedia University. She brings with her over 8 years of industry experience in satellite communication, VSAT and Earth Station implementation and testing, customer support, interference resolution, spectrum management, satellite procurement, international frequency regulations, and coordination. Engineer Sivapriya is currently lecturer with the Faculty of Engineering Multimedia University, where she actively pursues research in sustainable power supply systems, 4G, 5G radio resource optimization, radio channel propagation modeling, narrowband IoT, and smart biomedical solutions. She specializes in teaching community and management-related engineering subjects, such as engineer and society, project management, and law for engineers. She holds a Train the Trainer certificate and trains people in people communication skills, workplace safety, and engineering education. In her free time, she enjoys gardening, hiking, yoga, and socializing. With the introduction of the panelists, it is now time for us to listen to the wise words of the panelists themselves. On behalf of the organizers, I would now like to cordially invite T.S. Shahrir Nizam Jalis, Chief Commercial Officer of Akashia Communication Sdn Bhd, to present his presentation and also share a few words as the opening. Over to you, T.S. Shahrir.
Sorry, I think that's a burden of doing online. Thank you very much to Dr. Siva for the introduction. It is really an honor to be here today to share some thoughts on the future of the telecommunication. Thank you to Dr. Madani as well. Before I start with my topic of discussion today, allow me to introduce Akashia Communication. Next page. Akashia has been in the industry for the past 25 years. It was founded by former GCEO of TM, Tan Sri Zamzam Zaraini Muhammad Isa, as the embodiment of ASEAN spirits. With the 7 leading telcos in ASEAN as the shareholders, we provide and support the connectivity business across ASEAN. The company setup is so unique that if you Google, you won't find any similar joint venture company in the world. We Singtel in Singapore, Indosat Uridu in Indonesia, VMPT in Vietnam, National Telecom in Thailand, Nexus in Brunei, VNPT in Philippines, and of course in Malaysia we have Telecom Malaysia. We are proud to say that the camaraderie between the shareholders are strong. Then inshallah will be stronger in future as we going through the next phase of industrial revolution together. Next. My second slide here shows each phase of industrial revolution the world has then currently gone through. The first industrial revolution in the late 18th and early 19th century focused on the benefit of mechanization, where the first time animal or human labor could be substituted by mechanical labor. The new machines required a large amount of labor and energy to be operated, as this expanded the scale of outputs, with the majority of the labor tasks performed manually. New form of manufacturing activities emerged, creating industrial cities of various function and specialization, such as steels, textiles, and tools. Meanwhile, the second industrial revolution in the late 19th and early 20th century relied on the application of the principle of mass production along assembly lines, which was able to scale up manufacturing output with higher coordination between labors, tasks, processes, and machine. This further incited a level of specialization and interdependence in manufacturing, which led to the setting of industrial regions. Electrification also played a significant role in supporting the emergence of modern telecommunication systems, such as telegraph, radios, telephones, and later on, televisions. The development of massified forms of long-distance transport such as rail and the steamship further enabled to expand the market reach of manufacturing. The industrial revolution that took place in the later part of the 20th century benefited from the ongoing automation of several manufacturing processes. Using machines that are able to repeat a series of tasks. It also relied on the development of information technologies. I think this is where the booming of the information technologies come into Malaysia. Initially with the digital computer, and then with its convergence with information technology by the end of the 20th century. This led to the formation of the internet. At the same time, enable minimization of input costs, particularly related to labor, and thus new manufacturing landscape. This led to the paradoxical outcome as lower cost labor in developing economies become a suitable alternative to mechanization. This also incited the setting of a global production network where manufacturing activities tried to minimize input costs while logistics and transportation enabled to support the spatial differentiation of production and consumption. This process was very disruptive to the existing manufacturing landscape. And now here we are, the fourth industrial revolution, where it is mostly based on robotization. We talk about higher level of flexibility in terms of the localization, the manufacturing processes, the scale and the scope of the output, and the customization of the product. Robotization goes beyond mechanization by enabling machines to perform more complex tasks and being able to adapt to a redefinition of these tasks. Machines are getting more and more flexible, and increasingly increase their skill and their routine tasks. The focus therefore shift global value chains, which are a circular process to gather resources, transform them in parts and products, distribute finished goods to markets, and finally make these resources available again through various recycling and reuse strategies. Manufacturing and supply chain management become closely embedded. One might ask, what will we see in the next decade or so, since the evolution has become more rapid and in shorter cycle time? At this juncture, nothing certain yet, but there's a prediction on closer relationship between human and computer, which will result in personalization and mass customization. Hope we can stay and watch the next round of revolution. Next. From the industry, we can see that requirement from the customer has become more and more complex with the integration of networking, computing, and cyber physical. If we take an example from this vaccine traceability process here, I took this process from Mosti themselves, and I put it here so that we can actually understand what is needed for us to actually come up with the digital certification. We can see that it is incorporates multiple platforms, and without the emergence of the new technology, it is almost impossible to achieve the last outcome, which is simply the proof of our vaccination. It all starts with the lab as we develop the vaccine. Everything is being tagged, mass produced, then we should store it, we ship it, and finally giving it to the intended recipient. Each state will produce data, which will be essential in producing the digital vaccine certificate. In the past, the data might need to be exported or integrated between platforms. But with the current new technology, in terms of the distributed ledger technology, we can actually see that the data can be validated effortlessly across the platform. Moreover, with the right information security technology tools, the security and the integrity of digital certificate can be authenticated. Now we have to look into a bit on in terms of the architecture to support. If we look into the networking architecture to support, next. The requirement has become more complex with the integration of multiple network elements. There are a lot of network permutation need to be considered, especially when we deploy multi-cloud environment. To simplify, we may resort to software wide area network, as it will take away the complexity of the underlying technologies, while virtualizing and orchestrating some of the elements. From my experience in handling enterprises and government requirement in ASEAN, standalone network requirement is hard to come by nowadays. More often than not, the requirement already have a mix of connectivity, ICT, cloud, as depicted in the diagram. Slowly, the scope of networking expanded, and people with cloud and network experience is highly sought after in the market. Next. So, as mentioned earlier, data management has become one of the paramount concerns nowadays. Malaysia started their Personal Data Protection Act as early as 2010, and most of the ASEAN countries already have their own act by 2021. With this requirement, there is a need for localization of data to protect their sovereignty. With the distributed ledger technology capability, we have the flexibility of storing our data while maintaining their integrity. We don't need a centralized database admin, but we need to ensure that any data that tagged with the unique hash must go through the special authentication key. But the issue is still remain on the data residency requirement. Should we share it in the cloud or store it in the private cloud? So this is the argument that we still have in the market until now. In the summary, if you look into the future requirement of the customer, it will just expand it beyond our imagination. Many telcos in ASEAN have started their journey into ICT and cloud to ensure that they can enable their customer digital transformation. And at the customer end, the content has been a hot topic in the recent years. I guess at this juncture, we just need to stay focused on delivering the best customer experience while we plan our offering to support our future requirement. With that, I end my presentation and thank you everyone for your attention. Over to you, Dr. Siva.
Thank you very much, T.S. Sharir, for a very enlightening presentation. It really helped me, and of course, I hope it helped the viewers also to understand the business of Akashia Communication Sdn Berhad and to give us a preliminary insight on what are the research and collaboration opportunities that can arise after this discussion with T.S. Sharir. Okay, and now I would also like to allow our academic expert, TS Dr. Mardeni, to share presentation because it's also important to understand what are the research activities that are ongoing at the academia level in Multimedia University. So without further ado, I would like to invite Dr. Mardeni to share his views on the Center of Wireless Technology, Multimedia University. Over to you, Dr. Mardeni.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Siva Priya, for the introductions. Assalamualaikum and very good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to congrats to our organizer today, ICEC Industry Collaboration Engagement Center, and our co-organizer Center for Wireless Technologies, Faculty of Engineering. Today, we'd like to share about our research and our research center under our faculty and MMU. Okay, first of all, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Mardini Rosli. I'm from Center for Wireless Technologies, which is one of the RC in under Faculty of Engineering. And I'm from Research Management Centers. And okay, next slide. Okay, on behalf of CWT and Faculty of Engineering, I'd like to welcome to everyone to our RC Research Center and also our FOE. Okay, for the information, in MMU we have around 10 faculties with 28 research centers, and CWT is one of the research centers, and every research center we have our own chairpersons. And for our CWT is part under Faculty of Engineering, located in Cyberjaya, Selangor. Okay, and next. Okay, under our research center, we have around 13 members, including myself, which consists of academicians. We have Dr. Ivan, we have Prof. Yusuf, Prof. Chua, Dr. Eng, Dr. Tiang, Dr. Zhu. Of course, for our today moderator, Dr. Siva, we have Nolinda, we have Dr. Te, we have Dr. Chung, Azwan, and Dr. Lee. So we have 13 researchers working together on the wireless communication related field. And next. Okay. In order to make sure our research center and also our faculty in lines with our nation's vision and visions, our research center also we come up with our vision and visions. Mainly for the visions, our research center is going to develop a wireless research environments that produce the high talented student. This is our first vision. As one of the example here, we have our invited speaker today, Tesh Sharir, is one of our successful alumni. And the second vision is more to the, we inspire our researchers to work in the wireless communication related fields to become the excellent engineers, researchers, as well as the educators by integrating what they teach in the class together with their interested fields. Okay, and also, our vision is to support and enhance the wireless engineering curriculums. So we have our theoretical, we combine our theoretical skill as well as the practical skills that we have in our research centers. And also, we have visions through the research and developments. We organize significant trainings, significant workshops, research activities, with related with the wireless communications and technologies field. And part of that, we also have our missions in our research center. We are plan to serve research, academia, industry, and governments for the next generation wireless system and technologies. And of course, our mission also to enhance our researchers with the interpersonal skill capabilities proficiencies, with hopes it can giving a benefits to our faculty, to our university, as well as to our nations. And also we have missions to engage together with industry researchers and industry. That means we work together with industry as well as our collaborators, okay, from local and also international institution, university, and research centers to produce the high impact research projects which related with the wireless communications in order to produce the uh, benefits to all the parties. So this is our vision and missions. Next. Okay, mainly in our research centers, we have four main domains, which are 5G, 6G, and beyonds. And secondly, we have mobility and communications, and we have also microwave and also the antenna. These are the four main domains we have our research centers. And of course, our 13 members are working together within one of the main domains here, and we work together with the academia, industry, and governments. Okay, and this is my email, this is my contact numbers. Okay, next. Okay, I would like to share about our research focus in our research centers. As mentioned, it's divided into four main domains, which are 5G, 6G, and beyond. Second one is antenna. The third one is microwave, and fourth one is mobility and communications. Each of us, we have our interested field. We have our interested field. Like myself, I work on the 5G, 6G, IoT, D2D, radar, and the other researchers that are working together on the 5G, 6G, and beyond. We have Dr. Koo Choi Chun Ivan. His interested field more to green MIMO, multi-user detection, and cognitive radio. We have a Prof. Chua also with an interested field in signal processing, research, resource allocation optimizations. We have Dr. Azwan working on the IoT, ISDN, Wi-Fi, 5G, LAN 1. And of course, our moderator today, we have Dr. Siba with the field in networking, information theory, satellite safety and health, and so on. And we also have Professor Dr. Muhammad Yusuf with the field in OFDM, multiple antenna system, including the VLC visible light communications. And we have few researchers working on the antenna and microwave, like Dr. Zubaida, Dr. Nolinda, Dr. Tiang. And we have another few researchers working on the wireless communications, as well as the DSP. And we have a wireless machine learning data analytics, Dr. Ng. And also we have Dr. Lee working on the FSO VLC as well. And also we have Dr. Ter working on the radio wave propagation, ray tracing, and so on. So mainly we are working together and we work at our subdomains, and at the end we come out with our the outcome from the projects. So our researchers in our research center, we are quite active in research funding, quite active in consultations, as well as the joint projects with the industry, as well as local and international partner. Okay, next. Okay, currently we have some ongoing projects. Okay, as highlighted in the previous slides, we have a project working on the IoT. We have a project working on the 5G, 6G. Like it's quite related with our webinar today, which is more to the feature telecommunications. And part of that, we're also working on the connective radio in the 5G, and we have a few researchers working on very hard in radar, as well as the satellite communications, like Dr. Siba. Okay, these are some of the project, and most of our researchers in our research centers, we are funded by government's fund, we are funded by industry fund, as well as international fund. Okay, next. Okay, we have our plan. Every year we have our plans, and we come out with our roadmaps. And these are the latest roadmaps. We have a 3 years plan starting from 2021 until 2024. For the domains and also the technology is divided into 4 again. As I mentioned just now, we have 5G, 6G, mobility, microwave, and antenna. So our research center mainly working on the supporting the 3 SDG, Sustainable Development Goal, which are SDG 3, which is on the good health and well-being. SDG 7, we have affordable and clean energy, and we have SDG 9, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. And for each domain, we come up with our roadmap, like the 5G and 6G beyond. We have our heterogeneous network. Some researchers working on the headnets, and some researchers working on the 5G. And also spectrum mobility, FN, SDN, 6G, 7G, RANES, SIC, and so on. And for mobility and communications, some of us, we're working on the B2B, mission-to-mission communications. We have few researchers working on the mobility management, rural coverage, VLC, IoT, of course, and also multi-rates handover. And for the microwave, we have a roadmap on the RF power amplifier, MIMO radar, millimeter wave, RF MEMS, 6D, FAM, final methods, as well as the nonlinear makeup circuits. And also we have researchers working on the antennas roadmaps, like focusing on the Wi-Fi, LiFi, MIMO, beamformings, CubeSats for satellites, advanced radar propagation, and so on. So each of the subdomains, we link to the SDG, like for example, the headnets is linked to the SDG 3, which is a good health and well-being, and so on. And also our projects, we have a plan, and some of projects are funded by the funder as listed on the right hand side. Like we are fully supported by TMs, we are fully supported by mostly MOHI, and some researchers workings with SAMDARB, CRAS, SDB, and also European Commission. So this is our roadmaps. Of course, this roadmap is revised and updated from year to year. in order to make sure our research center is in line with our nation's vision and mission research domains. Okay, next. Okay, part of that, as highlighted in the vision and mission of our research centers, our research center, we are quite active, organizing and collaborating with industries and also international and local partners in connecting some workshops, connecting some industry talks. We invite the researchers, professors from IPTA, IPTS, and also from industries like from Wavy Digitals, as well as here we have a collaboration with NEC Japan. This is a 3 years ago activities, and of course we have every year activities. Next. And next. And starting last year, everything is become virtual. So in order to support our research center vision and missions, we continuously organize our events through the technical webinar. We collaborate with like ITPE, we collaborate with UKMs and also MCMC. Like in year 2020, we collaborate with ITP Comsort VTS in organizing the webinar on the importance of telecommunication during pandemic. So we have 4 panelists, including the moderator. This is show our efforts, our annual efforts in continuously support our RC vision and mission. Next. And this is the this year 2021's events we conducted virtually. We invite our external speakers, Prof. Vidats from USM and also Prof. Mustafa from UMP, Unimaps. Is a sharing session as well as is the good insight from our speakers to collaborate with us and become the joint partner, and of course to improve our researchers' skills in preparing the research funds as well as another research activities. Okay, and next. Okay, as a conclusion, on behalf of RC, CWT, would like to congrats to our organizer today, and thank you very much joining our event today. And our RC researchers, we are looking for the opportunity to collaborate, like the in terms of become the collaborators, research funding, joint projects. Of course, we also in other research activity like workshop, consultants, short course, and many more, in order to produce the high impact research through our research centers and our research activity and our research centers. Okay, next. Okay, so this is my contact number, and looking forward to collaborate with you all. Okay, thank you very much. I pass back to you, Dr. Siva.
Sorry, forgot to unmute my mic. Yeah, okay. So thank you very much, Dr. Madini, for that very insightful presentation. Okay, as you can see, the Center for Wireless Technology is quite active in procuring grants, because as academics, we know that that is a way forward for us to improve in our research capabilities and also to provide opportunities for the public who are interested to pursue postgraduate studies. And it is also a good way for us to form collaborations with the industry to make sure our research is not only research oriented, but it also actually can be applied to solve real world problems and help the community at large. So now we are actually ended with the presentations. We are coming to the part where we will discuss with our forum panelists on some of the questions that I'm sure are also burning in the minds of our viewers today. Okay, I would like to remind the viewers today, if you have any questions, please put it in the chat box, and I will take up the questions during the Q&A session at the end of the forum discussion. So now, without further ado, gentlemen, I would like to invite you for our forum discussion. And I would like to start the forum discussion with a burning question from actually one of our viewers, Wan Ibrahim, who asked, what is the status of the 5G rollout in Malaysia today? And I think I would like to address this question first to TS Dr. Madini. Dr. Madini, what is the status of Malaysia in terms of 5G implementation, in terms of the speed, and in terms of the capacity and also the reach to the general man? Yes, Madini?
Okay. This is a quite interesting question. Thank you for the questions. Okay. Of course, all of us, we are aware the 5G is considered as the fastest technologies, consider having a very high connectivity speeds, and of course the greater bandwidth, and I can say it's able to enhance our day-to-day experience. Okay, when we're talking about the speed, right? We aware the mobile phone generation is changed every 10 years, roughly is every 10 years. Uh, the first generations with the speed around 2.4 kbps. It was launched in 1981 until the 4G in year 2011 with the speed around 100 megabit per second. Um, Mainly the 5G is the speed is 100 times faster than 4G, which we plans to reach around 10 gigabit per second. So it means around 100 times faster than 4G. Okay, we were talking about the 5G speeds, like what we have in our telco, like the Maxis, DJ, U-Mobile, and so on. Mainly, we able to provide up to 4.8 gigabit per second, which is considered 40 to 50 times faster than our the current speed 100 megabit per second, and of course followed by another telco like Digi, Mobile, and so on. Okay, and this actually in line with our nation aims. As we know, we have a plan to launch our 5G services by the end of 2021, like in Kuala Lumpur, Putrajaya, and Sevajaya. And of course, we have plans to launch our services like in major cities like in Selangor, Penang, Johor, Sabah, Sarawak by 2022, inshallah. And and this 5G, right, is well-known technologies which able to, I can say, it's a catalyst towards the IR 4.0. I mean, it's definitely can support this IR 4.0 for our nation, economics, and social growth. Like what we have in the 5G is like holograms used for visual presence, and of course during this COVID-19 pandemics, used for remote patient treatment and diagnosis, and of course another application like autonomous car. Autonomous car, I think, is a well-known technologies, and of course we have used for AI, artificial intelligence. Everything is related with the 5G. Okay, and it's not for the urban and suburban application, as this is also applicable to the people living in rural and also sub-rural, like the farmers. They're able to detect, for example, the soil moisture in real times in maximize their yield and efficiency. And of course, they have a fisherman, they're able to maximize the yield by precision techniques. At the same times, like the policemen, they're able to use this 5G to deliver more efficient response through the robotics and so on. So I mean, this is show this 5G is quite important. And for the informations, like in Malaysia, the company that really, I mean, giving the impact to the company like for the education, transportation, agriculture, healthcare, manufacturing, entertainment, public safety, maybe. Okay, so this is a show. This 5G is quite important for our nation. Okay, back to you, Dr. Shiva.
Thank you, Dr. Madini, for sharing that information with us. Maybe I would like to ask T.S. Sharir now. T.S. Sharir, how is this 5G rollout impacting the ICT solutions that your company and other similar businesses are providing?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Siva, for the question. I think in align with Dr. Madini just now. When we talk about the 5G, we don't actually talk about just a bandwidth. We have three main services that we can actually cluster it. The first one is the enhanced mobile broadband. The next one is the ultra reliable and low latency communication (URLLC), and the third one is a massive machine type communication (MMTC). So all this technology, the services that can ride on top of the 5G will be essential for the smart services. So if you talk about the IoT based offering to the market, talking about if we take the example of the current COVID-19 pandemic, so and also any future pandemic that might happen in the future, there are a lot of areas that we can actually look into. Not talking about just telehealth for the patient, but we also talk about the telemedicine, telenursing, telepharmacy, telesurgery. Everything can be done remotely. So talking about the 5G itself, in the general, in the general term, we are seeing that it will help. It will help us. It will help humanity, the human, to actually ease up some of the processes that they have. So with the help with the help of the the whole platform of the smart services, we can actually improve our supply chain management, and definitely by the end of the day, we can actually have a better lifestyle among all the the citizen of Malaysia particularly. And I'm seeing this is not only happening in Malaysia itself. There's a lot of movement in terms of the 5G in ASEAN. Talking about Singapore, talking about talking about Thailand. I think last year they started the consolidation of some of their major mobile operator to actually starting to create the services that can actually make sense to the market. So talking about the smart services, talking about the IoT, we are not new. I think even in Malaysia, we have TM1 actually looking into this with the collaboration with, I believe, the R&D actually come up with the contact tracing, self-isolation services. When you can actually tracing the healthcare of the health what do you call it, the situation of the patients. So all this movement is actually going towards the 5G implementation. So when the 5G coming in with this implementation, with this platform, with these services, we can actually ride on the platform itself. So I think back to you, Dr. Siva.
Okay, very well put, Tia Sharir. Thank you. And so, do you think technology like the artificial intelligence, data analytics, also to some extent blockchain technology, can I check how will this impact the telecommunication and the ICT industry, let's say in the next 5 to 10 years?
So if I may,
yes, please.
I think when we talk about the artificial intelligence, I think we are aware that a lot of companies that actually involved in the public data, that actually collecting the data from the public would actually love to go into the artificial intelligence because they're seeing the potential for us to actually using the data that we got from the public to actually to be some of the data can be manipulated and can actually being replicated to the lifestyle of other people. So I take the example of Facebook, right? So the behavior of the people that actually browsing through the internet, we can see there's a trend whereby people would actually love to see the video content instead of just a static content. So that's why there's a lot of social media application right now that actually relying on the video content. So that study about the video, about the content that comes together with it is actually coming from the social media itself. So that's why the behavioral part of the human can actually being digitized and can actually being digitalized with the right application. So that's why I believe with the AI that comes together with the the study and the analytic part of the human behavior can become the catalyst for us in the future. So I'm seeing this happening right now, and I believe uh, the future generation would actually benefited more in terms of the AI and also the machine learnings that we already embarking starting from our generation.
Okay, thank you very much, T.S. Shahrir. So I think I would like to then understand, maybe you can ask T.S. Dr. Madini, um, because 5G implementation is very important and it is actually going to be the future of the telecommunication industry, not only on the national frontier, but also in the global landscape. What actually is hindering or what are the challenges that Malaysia is facing in implementing this 5G technology at the moment? Dr. Madini, maybe you can answer this question.
It's challenging, a lot. Okay. So like from what we have today, which is we can say is we are living in the 4G plus technologies. We already experience some of the technologies. The technologies provided for our customers and also our users. Okay, they have when talking about the challenges, there are a lot of challenges. Like, for example, at the provider side, like the communication system provider, they have a challenge to serve a various use cases. They have a challenge to serve various use cases as well as the use places with a lightning fast connectivities because this is the demanded. And probably we're talking about these challenges like from the smartphone to the smart factories. This is also the journey that's becomes the another challenge for our smartphone provider as well as the factory. They have a challenge to serve the better innovation platforms that enables our society to uh, to provide our customer, our users in features very very smart and suffer and sustainable devices, applications that can give benefits to everyone. It's like what we are experiencing, what we are feeling today, it will continuously and it will be improved in features. And of course, another challenges in feature technology like profit side, profiting from the new service which giving providing a quality service is also one of the toughest challenges for business today. It means like we invest less and we produce the significant high quality devices and products on the telecommunication as well as ICT. Okay, this is a part of the challenges in future of telecommunication in and also ICT. Okay, back to you, Siva.
Thank you, Dr. Madeni. And so, Tia Sharir, maybe you can take up, continue the discussion from the ICT point of view when implementing 5G. What are the challenges that you face in your industry?
Okay, talking about the 5G, I believe it's relatively new in the market in this region, in ASEAN region. So talking about Malaysia as a whole, I think believe that we are still lacking in terms of the skill sets to actually deploy some of the platform in the for the future. So there's a lot of if you still remember 2-3 years ago, there's a lot of hackathon being organized. So you can see a lot of startups come up from from the Magic program, but it all stops after the pandemic. So I haven't seen any goods unicorn based startup in MS coming up from the Magic after the pandemics come. So the challenge of having a good ecosystem to actually deploying 5G is just a technology. I think by the end of the day, it's always about how we can actually monetize the infrastructure that we have, and how actually we can monetize the data that we can collect from the end user. So the application wise, in terms of the apps that actually comes with the 5G, the use cases for the enterprises is still is best to have. It's good to have. It's not I must have. So like I like Dr. Madini mentioned about the agriculture, right? So we can actually put a sensor to see the moisture of the soils, but by the end of the day, is the farmers in Malaysia actually have the one to actually start buying out this technology and actually starting it. So that is the challenges that we are facing all this while for the 5G. Even though we don't really need to go for 5G. If you ask me, we have the we have the MB-IoT offering, we have the Sigfox, we have the LoRaWAN to actually deploying the smart services, the IoT based, the sensor based offering. But still, the market in Malaysia is still is not matured enough to actually start buying all this smart platform. So that's why I think the most challenging part of the 5G going to the market as a company that actually enabling all this technology is always about how we can actually help the customer to monetize, monetize back the infrastructure investment that they have. So I believe that is the most teething problem that we have in the market. Yeah.
Okay, so I believe what you actually mean is that the Malaysian public, we kind of lack a little bit of awareness on the technologies that build towards the 5G infrastructure itself. So what are the ways that we can actually do to promote this awareness among the public and among the people who are venturing into startup businesses, so that they can come and take up these opportunities which are abundant to help to improve their lifestyle?
I think if I can take the example of China, right? So they are very advanced into the 5G. I think they are now into the 6G deployment as well. So they have the biggest 5G network in the whole world. So one of the way that they are actually pushing to the market is the pushing of the government. So they are protecting. I think China really protecting their 5G network, so that the 5G provider in China can actually have the free hand to actually come up with the innovation. So I'm seeing a lot of innovative solution coming from China. I was in the Huawei Connect in 2019, so I've been there. I'm seeing a lot of things happening, especially on the the front end. So I can see there's a lot of innovation in terms of the platform, in terms of the ICT, the smart platform that going to the market, and it's actually being backed up by their government. So I think if we take that example into Malaysian, we need to start think holistically from the government side, from the the enterprises side. We need to actually have that private government kind of collaboration to actually pushing certain things. So I know that we have that program. I think they come up with the 80 use cases in 2019, but it never been pushed to the market. So we need to start relook back into all this initiative, so that we can have that the good innovation coming from Malaysian for Malaysian. So that would be the best outcome, I think, if we have that kind of collaboration.
Very well said, Tia Shahrir. I also believe that charity always begins at home. And if there is a best way for us to, help our people come up and, leverage on the existing technologies for their own benefits, that itself will help to push the 5G rollout in Malaysia.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. And now I have a question for, I think, TS Dr. Madini. This is from one of our viewers. His name is Adam Asman Hazim. And he wants to know what is the likelihood of Malaysia implementing the millimeter wave technology for the 5G rollout in Malaysia?
Okay, I think some points you can get from this question, and of course, Tia Shahrir is yes, as mentioned before, this 5G is still in the plan, and I agree. China is they are very rich, one of the biggest networks in 5G, and it's already proof by China. They have rolled out this 5G in their countries. And for Malaysia, for example, like we still have like mentioned just now, we have around 80 use case that we're going to solve. It was the problem since 2003 years ago, 2018, 2019. And of course, this year is not fully implemented yet. And of course, due to this COVID pandemics, still some projects are still pending. And especially from our TM side, we have collaborated with TM R&D between MMU and also WebB Digital and so on. We still have a plan to solve, for example, like the coverage, and then coverage and also the speeds. And this millimeter wave is not it's not fully implemented yet. In this situation is because of the some constraint and limitations. And of course, in very near soon, and for example, in year 2022, we have a plans to roll out this 5G in around 14 cities in Malaysia, as well as the state like Selangor, Penang, Sabah, Sarawak, inshallah in 2022. And of course, the 5G demo, it was launched in year 2019, since 2019, and until today they have a lot of use case still pending. So that's why, as mentioned by Tia Shahrir, moving forwards, we expect more collaborations between, this involves a lot of parties between our university, academia, and also the industry peoples to work together in solving these problems in order to support our nation's government as selected by NCMC on the Jendela program. Jendela program is one of the very important programs which are elected by our government as well. So this is the status in Malaysia, and inshallah very soon in year 2022 we can roll out this technology successfully, inshallah.
Thank you very much, TS Dr. Madini, for a very concise answer. Okay, so for any public who are looking for research in multimeter wave technology and wondering, maybe some of them interested in postgraduate studies, and you are wondering, if this study is still relevant. Yes, it is still relevant. Okay, and if you are interested to pursue, perhaps you can get in touch with the Center of Wireless Technology and Dr. Madini and team, and discuss the possibilities of any proposals that you have, so that we can see if there is a way that we can move forward with that research. Okay, so now moving forward, I think it's an important thing for us to understand what will the types of new businesses that can come out in this telecommunication industry in the next 5 years. Because the generation today, I think they all look forward towards entrepreneurship and startup. So maybe I can ask T.S. Sharir this question first. What are the new businesses that you think will be taking off in the next 5 years due to the rollout of the 5G as well as other telecommunication technologies such as the cloud computing and so on?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Siva. It's a very interesting question. I think as I mentioned earlier on the fifth industrial revolution, it's always about human and computer to be embedded together. So the idea of the next 5 years, 10 years down the road is always about how we can actually have a better collaboration between us and the computer. Because I think at the certain level, we can't do what computer can, and we cannot. The computer can't actually replicate our emotion, cannot replicate our movement in terms of the robotics. So when we talk about the future, services that we can actually offer to the market, it's a vast, a very vast topic. Talking about the personalization, the human itself to actually portray themselves to the public. This is where I think there's a lot of social media, interruption that actually comes together with it. So when we talk about the Facebook, when they come up with the first social media, it never crossed our mind. I think the earlier generation to actually share your personal info or your personal well-being inside the internet so that everybody can see. So nobody have that kind of thoughts come across, but Facebook did it, and then there's a lot of social media being shared afterwards, not only about your personal lifestyle, but also your working lifestyle in your LinkedIn. Then talking about the video, nowadays it's about videos. So we talk about TikTok, we talk about the Instagram Reels. So you can see a lot of human and computer collaboration is being pushed to the market. So in the next 5 years, I believe that when we talk about the smart services, we can see that we can predict. I think the future will always about we as a human being assisted by the machines around us. So talking about the autonomous car, talking about the smart home, talking about the smart anything on the smart services, on the IoT based offering, that probably the best bet for us in the future. But it has to be humanized. So means that everything that we do, everything that we offer to the market must be tagged to the human experience. So human experience tied together with the power of the computing, so we can have that services being offered to the market in the future. That probably the best bet that we have now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So now, since we are still talking about the future, I think one of the questions from the viewers is how is 6G, okay, the sixth generation, how is that different from the fifth generation networks? So maybe I can ask this question to Dr. Madini.
6G. Okay. Not even 6G, even the 5Gs, people is expecting more like it can provide a very high speed, fast connectivity, ultra signal and so on. So when talking about the 6G, is definitely is the kind of improved version from the 5G, and definitely is a much better than 5G technologies. One of the main differences here is in terms of the frequency. Frequency is too high than compared with the 5G, and of course, the evolution from 5G to 6G, what we're going to improve is in terms of the capacity and also the latency, where in the 6G, it may provide better capacity and also provide a lower capacity. And for the information, what is the interesting thing for this 6G actually support a 1 microsecond latency in communications. 1 microsecond latency communication means that it's around 1,000 times faster. 1,000 times faster. And of course, when we compare the 5G, this 6G is definitely support data rates around 1 terabyte per second. So it's a quite fast and so on. Okay, and then when we compare between this 5G and 6G, let's say 6G is in the market is actually is used to facilitate the a lot of improvements like in what we are seeing today. We have AI, we have imaging technologies, autonomous cars, big data, and so on. Is definitely is improving from what we have in the 5G as well as today 4G. And maybe just want to share about this. Maybe they have a question when this 6G will be available. Just person. This forecasting is will be launched commercially maybe in year 2030. We it use distributed radio access networks, RANs, with as I mentioned just now, is using around terahertz spectrum to increase the problems we have in 5G before, like the capacity, increasing the capacity and latency. We reduce the latency as well as improving the spectrum sharing. These are the main things that's why we need 6G one day. And okay, back to you, Tasipa.
Okay. Thank you very much, TS Dr. Madini, for enlightening us on the 6G. So I think all these criterias that Dr. Madini has listed out are all potential scope for research as well as future like postgraduate titles. Yeah, Dr. Madini, you agree with me? So if some students are interested to actually do some research in this, there will be a way forward for it, right?
Yeah. You're welcome to join our programs. Yes.
Okay, and then since we're also speaking about future, I think there is one technology that the viewers are interested in, and that would be on the distributed ledger technology. And what are the possibilities of this technology being implemented in Malaysia? And if it's implemented, what are the challenges that we will face to actually implement this I think I'd say a little bit controversial type of technology. I think I'll ask Dr. Tia Sharif this question.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Siva. I think before I answer that question, I think I just want to enlighten everybody about the distributed ledger technology. It's a digital system for recording the transaction of assets, in which the transaction and their details are recorded in multiple places. So in the past, all the record is being held in the centralized environment. So now, as mentioned, I think I shared the use cases of the vaccine traceability process that we worked together with MOSTI last time. Unlike the traditional databases, distributed ledgers have no central data store or administration functionality. There's a lot of the application of the DLT inside the IoT. So it is really it's really aligned with the I think the smart services, because it can actually offer security, it can actually offer the device management, the cost saving, and also the smart contract. And also the I think the most important part is the audit trail, whereby you can actually audit all the events in the ledger. So you have one ledger consists of all the information, then you can actually audit all the events inside that ledger. So as per deployment in the simple architecture, the cost may cause the customer to lose sight of this benefit, as mentioned earlier. So I think the challenge is always about how we want to actually justify the cost to actually deploying the DLT, because just imagine the minimum numbers of servers to actually validate and verify data. You need at least three dedicated servers, and if you couple it together with the high availability architecture, the cost will be actually 3 times, 4 times higher than the normal IT infrastructure. So it will not actually entice the customer to actually go for this technology. But when we talk about the global scale of economics, this is where I think some of the corporate or the main or the startup would see things from the different angles. We can take the example of Bitcoin mining processes that may utilize the public servers. The benefit outweigh actually the cost thus far. As for the enterprises who bound by the Personal Data Protection Act, the thoughts of using public cloud may not come across their minds yet. But as an awareness for everybody, I think I did mention about the data that we shared in My Sejahtera. We shared the data about our whereabouts, our IC number, our home address, our vaccination info. Have we ever wondered where the data is being stored now? So I think by the end of the day, if we have the flexibility to put all this data in the public cloud, then the cost to actually deploying this technology would be much lower than the expected cost that if you put it in the private storage. That will be my thoughts. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Tia Sharir. Okay, so actually, I think this will be one of the last questions that I have. What actually are the expectations from the industry, from the academia, in terms of collaboration and research? What areas would you be interested to form research partners or collaborations with the academia? Tia Sharir?
Thank you for the question. It's a very hot question right now because academia, I think, talking about the ASEAN landscape as a general, or Malaysia as specific, we are seeing that the academia and also the industry really jive together. It's unlike what we have in what I have during my study year. Whatever that I studied, what I did for my financial FYP can actually go to the market directly. So probably, I think in the future, or even at the current landscape, what we need to do to have the good collaboration between the academia and the industry is always about the communication between us. I believe right now, talking about the go to the market, talking about the research in the academia world, it always go beyond whatever we have in the industry. So I believe that when I'm doing my MSc last time, I did my study on 5G. So you can see, I did my MSc in 2005. So now it's 2020. So we are still not, the academia and the industry still far ahead. So whatever that academia have is probably 100,000 feet in the overall ecosystem. So what we have in the industry, the market now is about the ground, the ground level. So for us to actually bridging the gap between the zero feet to the 100,000 feet, it's a very huge timeline, I believe. So we need to have a really, when we engage the academia, we talk about 10, 15 years kind of research instead of now. So in Malaysia, everybody is talking about now. So we need to actually find a way how to bridge this, the 100,000 feet against the timeline that we have. So I believe if we have that kind of communication where whatever that we produce now in the academia, after the 15 years, it will be, a viable solution to the market. So that probably my view on the academia against the industry.
Okay, thank you very much, T.S. Sharir. So I think the point is well taken. T.S. Dr. Madini is also listening, and I think after this, our team will probably be receiving some instructions to gear towards the expectations from the industry, so that whatever we come up with in the academia will also benefit and can be used as per expectations from the industry. Okay, so now we actually come to the end of our webinar series. But before we take leave, I think I would like to call each speaker in turn to maybe give one or 2 points so that our viewers can take away something from this Humanizing Innovation webinar series. So I think I will start with the academia. T.S. Dr. Madini, can you please share your thoughts?
Okay. On behalf of academia and researchers in MMU, we always welcome our potential student, potential collaborators to join our to join our project, to join our programs. Like in Faculty of Engineering, we have Master of Engineering Telecommunication, and we have a Bachelor of Engineering majoring in Telecommunication. So for those looking for the program, so this is a good opportunity for you to learn more, because in MMU we have provides good facilities, good program structures with a link to the future telecommunication and ICT, especially the 5G technology just now. Okay, so this is what we hope. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me and you email me. So this is my on behalf of academia in MMU and also researcher in sustainability. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Madeni. And now I would like to invite Tia Shahrir to give us one or two words before we round up.
Okay, thank you. I think with all the advancement in the technology, there are three main areas we need to start to focus. I think the first one will be the how we actually innovate back the core. Most of our product offering currently rides on the legacy technology. I take the example of IPVPN. So when we talk about the IPVPN, the product has been with us for so long. Without innovation on the MPLS, the MPLS technology behind the IPVPN, there will be a battle in the future between IPVPN and SD-WAN. So when we talk about the battle, definitely we can see from the past experience who will be the winner and the loser. So the secondly, we need to start looking into the future capabilities. I think most of us already experienced software has become more and more pertinent in the recent years. I think the skill set is after in the market, even in the telco environment. We do have the DevOps environment, whereby the customer still face, even though it is a customer-facing department, I think it's simply because there's a lot that digital application going around. So that we need to have a specialized team to actually look into the coding of the application itself. And last but not least, I think we need to start to look into the convergence play, be it for the consumer, be it for the SME, or be it for the enterprises. So we need to see the content, from the different angle. So talking about the telco, we start streamlining our IPTV now to OTT. Talking about the Disney content coming into Malaysia. We already streamline some of our OTT content. The e-commerce platform like Shopee, Lazada, it's all been a top traffic generator for Malaysia all this while. So gaming probably will be the next best thing. So we need to start really look into this. Unlike the country like Singapore and Vietnam, they are already way behind in terms of the gaming. The video-based SOCMAT, like I mentioned earlier, TikTok, Instagram, will actually dominate some of our traffic in the future. So by the end of the day, I believe voice data alone will not be enough for the future generation. So we need to start to look into the content element as well. So I think that will be my view, the takeaway from the humanizing, how we can actually humanizing all the innovation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, T.S. Shahrir. I think he's, as usual, he has actually spot on given us some tips and put into very good perspective about, what is to be expected in the telecommunication industry in the future. We have some questions from the viewers that we can't answer right now because we do not have time. But especially for some of the viewers already put the questions, like Ibrahim 1. We will reply to your question in the chat box. Please stay tuned for the answer. And if there are any of you who feel you were robbed of a chance to ask an opportunity, I think you can directly email Dr. Madeni or T.S. Shahrir and share your views for collaboration, or if you have any ideas or proposal to do postgraduate studies, you can approach Dr. Madeni, and then we can also try to have a collaboration with Akashia Communications so that the research that you do will be more relevant to the industry. And so as we come to the end of this webinar series, I would like to actually thank a few people. First off, I would like to start off by, of course, thanking our honorable speakers today, Thank you very much, Tia Shahrir and Dr. Madini, for taking time off your very busy schedules and joining us today. And I would like to thank the CWT chairperson, Dr. Madini, for his willingness to allow his research center to join on this Humanizing Innovation webinar series. Namely, we would like to thank also Dr. Azwan Mahmood for helping us to connect with Tia Sharir. And I would like to also thank the organizers of this webinar, the Industrial Collaboration and Engagement Center, ISAC, and also the Research Industrial Collaboration and Engagement RISE Division for giving CWT this opportunity to engage with the industry so that we can move forward with more effective and better outputted research in the future. We'd also like to thank the Strategic Marketing, Admission and Recruitment team, the SMART team, as well as the MMU studio and our producer today, Encik Burhan, the technical team also who has made this webinar be conducted smoothly. And of course, in all virtual sessions, no virtual session is successful without a cooperative and interactive audience. And I think we have had a very, very good audience today with lots of questions. So thank you very much, audience, for your questions. I wish you all the best. Speakers and audience, ladies and gentlemen, please stay safe, stay at home. Everything is opening up, but remember the battle is nowhere near won. So please look after yourselves. Have a nice day. And this is Siva Priya signing off on behalf of CWT and the Humanizing Innovation webinar series for MMU. Thank you very much.